Welcome, everyone. Hello, my name is Patty Dorn with the Maryland Insurance Administration. Welcome to today's Lunch with Mia. This is going to be understanding your prescription coverage and the resources available to help you pay for medications. Before we get started, we just want to do a quick poll to see how we all got here today. If you're calling in, you're not going to be able to see the poll. Certain versions of Zoom also cannot see the poll. But if you do see the poll, if you don't mind telling us how you found out about this event, it helps us advertise our future events. Or if you feel like you don't see the poll, you can also put the information in the chat. Thanks so much for that information. So most health insurance plans come with prescription drug coverage, but not every plan covers every medication. Insurers use a formulary that determines how much of the cost you'll pay. A formulary usually has different tiers, and prescription medications listed in one tier may cost you more than those in another tier. It's important for consumers to know how to find out which prescription drugs are covered under their own policies, and then how much they're going to need to pay for those out-of-pocket expenses for their medications. This event today will also introduce Marylanders to the resources available to help people who have trouble paying for their prescription drugs. For this event today, the Maryland Insurance Administration is joined by United Way of the National Capital Area. The Maryland Department of Health could not join us today, but their contact information will be provided toward the end of the event. Some housekeeping rules. The event today is being recorded, as you saw. Please leave your phones and computers on mute for this event. So mics, computers, phones. Unmute, cameras off if you're not presenting. If you have questions for today's speakers, please use the chat box and make sure that it's set to everyone when you send the question. So you can ask the questions at any time. And when anyone's speaking, you can utilize the chat box to put your questions in. And then at the end, we're going to come back and we're actually going to do a Q&A session. So we're going to start with our first speaker today, Paul Meyer from the Maryland Insurance Administration.
Sorry about that, I was on mute. My name is Paul Meyer. I work for the administration's Life and Health Complaints Unit, and one of my specialties is prescription drugs. So we are going to go ahead with the presentation, Understanding Your Prescription Drug Coverage. So we're going to go over what we do at the Insurance Administration. We're going to talk about understanding your prescription coverage, mainly the basics. We're going to explain how to talk with your providers, the difference for prescription drug tiers, prior authorizations, and handling denials. And as background information, our role as the Maryland Insurance Administration is we are the state agency that regulates insurance in Maryland. The MIA licenses insurers and insurance producers, who are agents and brokers, examines the business practices of licensees to ensure compliance, monitors the solvency of insurers, reviews and improves insurance policy forms, reviews insurance rates to ensure rates are not inadequate, excessive, or unfairly discriminatory, and finally investigates consumer and provider complaints and allegations of fraud. Many health plans help pay for the cost of covered prescription medicines. The coverage can be quite different from plan to plan, and it's important to understand your own coverage. You will receive a summary of benefits and coverage by your plan and can generally find a link to your plan's formulary in the Common Medical Events section. So we're going to start with getting to know your prescription drug plan. One of the first steps is to check your health plan's website. Most health insurers have websites that you can use to access the most up-to-date information about your plan. You can learn what your plan covers, what doctors and facilities, for example, hospitals and labs, are in your plan's network, what prescription drugs the plan covers, what claims the plan has paid, and how much of your deductible you still need to meet. Now, you usually will need to register and create an account to log in to get that information for your plan. So we're starting with understanding the terms of your prescription coverage. The first is your deductible. The deductible is the amount you pay before your insurance company starts paying its share of the costs. You will pay the full cost of most services until you meet your deductible. You may have a separate deductible for prescription drugs, depending on the plan. So what's a copay? A copay is a fixed fee you pay directly to the provider when you receive a prescription drug. An example is $40 or $20. What is coinsurance? Coinsurance is a percentage you may pay for a prescription drug even after you meet your deductible. For example, if your coinsurance is 20%, then the insurer pays 80% of the covered amount, and you pay 20% until you reach your out-of-pocket maximum. An example is a drug that would cost $100. You would pay $20, and the insurer would pay $80. In-network pharmacies. These are pharmacies that have a contract with your insurance company. If you receive prescription medications from an in-network provider, generally you will only need to pay your deductible and any applicable copay or coinsurance. You may not be billed for the balance by the provider. The other type is out-of-network pharmacies. These are pharmacies that do not have a contract with your insurance company. If you receive prescription medications from an out-of-network provider, the insurance company may not be required to pay any portion of the charges, or your copay or coinsurance may be, or your copay or coinsurance may be larger than if the services had been provided by an in-network provider. Here's an example of your insurance ID card. And if you look in the bottom left, it gives you the prescription information, copays, and the group number. I'm going to move on to prescription drug tiers. So insurers use a formulary that determines how much of the cost you'll pay. A formulary usually has different tiers. Prescription medicines listed in one tier may cost you more than those in another tier. It's important to note that insurers often make yearly changes to their formularies. Now, as an example, tier 1 is usually generic drugs. They're the lowest cost drugs, and they're the vast majority of prescriptions. Tier 2 are preferred brand name drugs. These drugs cost more because they're unique and just one drug company makes them. For tier 3, these are non-preferred brand name drugs. So they're also brand name drugs, but they may cost you more than other brand name drugs that treat the same condition. And finally, some plans have a tier 4, others call it specialty drugs. These are plans, these are very high cost drugs, and they treat rare or complex diseases. So to find more information, check your insurer's website where you can find your health plan's formulary. You can check your insurance policy or certificate to learn more about your formulary. And if you need help, you can call your insurer directly and find out what's covered. So it's a good idea to talk with your healthcare providers about the best affordable medications for you based on your plan. If the pharmacy says that your plan doesn't cover a prescription drug you've been taking, some insurers may let you refill the prescription once. That will give you time to talk with your provider about other options. You can also ask your healthcare provider to ask your health plan for an exception. With an exception, you can get a prescription medicine that your plan doesn't normally cover. Your health insurer might agree because of these common reasons. One reason is All other drugs the plan covers haven't worked or won't work as well as the drug the provider prescribed, or all other drugs the plan covers have caused or could cause harmful side effects. Now we're moving on to prior authorizations. Health plans may require prior authorizations for some prescription drugs. Prior authorization means getting approval first from your health plan for a special treatment, service, prescription drug, or medical equipment. A health plan gives prior authorization when a service or medication is medically necessary. Without it, your health plan may not pay any of the costs. You can ask your provider if you need prior authorization. Some providers will ask the health plan for prior authorization on your behalf. So, handling denials. Your health plan must tell you how you can appeal their decisions. If taking the time to appeal would put your life or ability to fully function at risk, you can file an expedited appeal to get a quicker decision. Your insurer may fully or partially deny a pre-authorization request or a claim for coverage if drugs or services are not covered by your health plan, or if it believes services are not medically necessary. If you believe your request for pre-authorization or claim has been wrongly denied, you can file an appeal with your insurer. The instructions for filing an appeal will be in your policy and may also be available in the explanation of benefits letter or in your health plan summary of benefits and coverage. The Health Education and Advocacy Unit of the Consumer Protection Division of the Office of Attorney General can help you file an appeal. We have, that's the HEAU. We have the HEAU's contact information below. You can move on. Now, if your health plan is subject to Maryland law, you may also be able to file a complaint with the Maryland Insurance Administration. Generally, you must appeal the decision through your health plan's appeal process before filing a complaint with MIA. But in some situations, you may be able to file a complaint with the MIA even if you have not completed your health plan's appeals process. If your health plan is not subject to Maryland law, you may still have the right to an external review of the health plan's decision. You should read your policy for instructions about how to request this or contact the HEAU for help. Now, how we can help at MIA. You may file a complaint directly with the MIA before receiving the health insurer's appeal or grievance decision if the health insurer waives its requirement that you first file an appeal, the health insurer does not follow any part of its internal appeal process. An example is you don't hear back from them in the time it's supposed to respond, or there is a compelling reason, such as showing delay could result in your death, serious impairment to a bodily function, serious dysfunction of a bodily organ, or could cause you to be a threat to yourself or others, or finally could cause you to continue to experience severe withdrawal symptoms. So this is important. Discount medical plans and discount drug plans are not insurance. They don't pay any part of your healthcare costs. Instead, discount plans offer savings to plan members on various healthcare goods and services. Depending upon the plan, this can include discounts on prescription drugs, doctor visits, eyeglasses, vision care, dental services, and lab tests. So these discounts are made available through arrangements between healthcare providers and the organization offering the discount plan. And we have information on our website about what these discount plans are and why they're not insurance. So below we have information if you are struggling to pay for insulin and diabetes medication, the American Diabetes Association may be able to help. Their website is www.insulinhelp.org. And basically you'll need to provide your dosage information, costs, basic contact and residency information, as well as other information, you can visit their webpage, which is www.insulinhelp.org, or call 1-800-DIABETES for more information. Below, we once again have our contact information for the Maryland Insurance Administration and for the Office of Attorney General. And if you want, you can go to our website, www.insurance.maryland.gov, or www.marylandattorneygeneral.gov. There's also contact information for the Federal Employees Health Benefit Plan, which is not subject to state law. And for that, you would contact the Office of Personnel Management. We also have information for the United States Department of Labor. And once again, so the US Department of Labor handles self-funded employer plans. These plans are not subject to state law, and it's a situation where the employer will actually pay for the claims, but they'll use an insurance company to administer the plan, something like United Healthcare or Aetna.
Thanks so much, Paul. Great information. Next up, we have Vilmarie Gilliam. She is from United Way of the National Capital Area. Welcome, Vilmarie.
Hi, thank you. I'm actually, we partner with United Way. I'm not from United Way, I'm actually from Single Care, which is a discount program that was just referenced on the slides prior by MIA. So thanks for that introduction on us not being a, insurance. If we can go to the next slide. So I wanted to review a little bit about what the problem is and the problem we're out to solve, as well as an overview of the Single Care program and some possible next steps in action you could take immediately. You'll see that we have some commercials out there to bring awareness with Martin Short. We're super happy to have him do this. He's never done commercials before, promoted any program, and really believes in our mission to help people afford their medications. Next slide. So some key ways that we try to help people is, right, there's a problem. We pay the most for prescription medications than anywhere else in the world here in the US. Why many people go to Canada and Mexico for medications. Also, to keep in mind, people tend to have an unrealistic goal with your deductible plans. When you have a deductible, it's not a goal you should try to reach and get to. It is there if you because 80 to 85% do not meet their deductibles. So it's unless you know you're going to have some type of surgery, elective surgery on a hip, on a leg, or what have you, then you want to get to your deductible as fast as you can. But otherwise, you don't need to try and do that. And I say that because prescription medications may have their own deductibles that they have to reach, or you may have it as part of a whole under your medical benefit plan and your prescription benefit plan. And so we disrupt that because we're not insurance. So we disrupt your accumulators to get to your deductibles. We have seen huge improvements in people's well-being by taking your medication and staying on it and not abandoning your script at the pharmacy counter. And additionally, we save Single Care, which is what I love about us, 40% of all the medications that are on our formulary. So while they were just talking about formularies, while we're not an insurance company, we do have a list of medications that we price and try to stay competitively priced in the marketplace to ensure that you can pick up your script and afford it. And we have the best discounts on generic medications. And 40% of the Single Care discounts amount to $10 or less. There's a significant savings. And you can use the card even if you have insurance. You just have to use either or. And in this world is real-time processing. So sometimes you don't know what your medication is going to cost until you get to the counter. Well, you can ask them, hey, can you also run the single care card? Can you tell me what the price is for this? And then there's always, you can also look online before you go, and you'll know the price that we have it priced at for cash, right? Because you're using the discount card that you'll be able to get your medication for. Next slide. A few facts about the program. It is absolutely free. This is not a scam. The way we say in business is that the business model is there is a, just like when you use a credit card, there is a cost for let's take American Express, for instance. Not everybody accepts American Express. Why? Because that merchant has to pay American Express to use their card and to accept their card. So very similarly, we have an arrangement with your Walgreens, CVS's, Walmart's, Kroger's of the world, and they pay us to use the card. So it's like $1 per claim, let's say, that's what it is. And that, so when you fill in your prescription, they pay us $1 because they're keeping you there, able to afford your medication, and also keeping you in the store to buy everything else in their store as well. So it's always free. I mentioned the second bullet already, accepted at all major chains, which I mentioned a few earlier. No registration or eligibility required. We are HIPAA compliant. I'll also mention that. You can sign up at singlecare.com. It works whether you're uninsured, insured, or underinsured. And the card does not expire. So while you may print out a card online or have a card on your phone, the card never expires. You'll always be able to use the card. And if you do register, we have a loyalty program where you get $5 off your first prescription fill. And then you continue to gain earned points or dollars towards additional savings for future prescription fills. Next slide. Again, some key facts about the program, right? It's for everyone. It's also good for pets. If you have a pet that is on a medication that humans take, like an antibiotic or any other type of medication that a vet may prescribe, you can take that to be filled at your CVS's and Walgreens of the world, and instead of having it filled at your vet, and use our card for that discounted price to apply. The other thing that I'll point out on this particular slide is on the bottom right, we have found that more and more people 65 and older are using the card. So because of formularies, not every medication is covered. There may be things that are not covered under Medicare Part D that are on our list, and you can use our card for those discounts. So if something's not on a formulary, absolutely use our card. If we can beat the price, absolutely use the card. Case in point, my husband's high blood pressure medication, we save $10 every month by using the single care card. And he works for a health insurance company. So significant dollars are saved. So that's $120 that we save a year on that. Next slide. Here's what you can do. So there's our card on the right that you see. You can get a card right now by texting 700-700 and type save, and you'll have a digital card on your phone, or you can download our app. We have an app which is searchable. You can actually look up the price right on your phone for your medications and see what the price is before you even walk in to fill your prescriptions. That's all I've got. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Valerie. So I'm going to be doing this next presentation here. I'm going to talk to you guys about the Maryland Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program. Next slide, please, Joyce. So the Maryland Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program, it's called expedited for short. It's a subsidy program which provides financial assistance to eligible Maryland residents. Eligible Maryland residents who are enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan that has prescription drug coverage, and most Medicare Advantage plans do have prescription drug coverage, or a Medicare Part D plan. So somebody with a supplement probably has a Medicare Part D plan. This was established by the Maryland General Assembly in 2005, and the Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program is overseen currently by the Maryland Department of Health. Next slide, please. So for calendar year 2020, this program, the expedited program, covers up to $50 per month toward the member's premium for an approved D plan, or $50 a month for the Medicare Advantage plan. So if your Medicare Advantage plan includes prescription drugs, which most do, it will cover up to $50 for the plan, as well as up to $50 for that Part D plan. So expedited only provides subsidies for program members, and to be a program member, you need to apply for the program and you need to be accepted into the program. So individuals will must meet the following eligibility requirements. Number one, Maryland resident, enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan or a D plan. Have an income at or below. So an income at or below 300% of the federal poverty level. In 2022, that's approximately $40,000 for a single person, and it's approximately $55,000 for a couple. So just to put that in perspective for you. And you need to be a person who doesn't have prescription drug coverage through another health benefit plan. So, through an employer retiree plan, or if you're still working, et cetera. So this is only going to work with Medicare Part D and the Medicare Advantage plans. And then you need to apply and be accepted into the program. There is a complete list here. These are the links to see the complete list of the Medicare Advantage plans and the D plans that participate with this program. But what I will say is that it is most plans. I don't know the reason why there's a few plans that do not participate, but most likely if you have a D plan or a Medicare Advantage plan, it most likely participates with this program. So if you are already receiving assistance paying for those Medicare prescription drug costs from the federal Extra Help program, then you may not qualify for additional assistance from expedited. So if you know that you're already receiving federal Extra Help, you may still qualify. In some cases, some people get a partial Extra Help, but you also may not qualify because that would just be an overlapping of the same benefit. If you're enrolled in Maryland Medical Assistance, Medicaid, then you are not eligible. You are not eligible if you have prescription drug coverage under another health benefit plan, which I mentioned earlier. And then eligibility for this program. And I think this is important. Eligibility is based on earned and unearned income. So eligibility is based on income and income only. There is no limit on assets in expedited, so no asset test. And one thing that I will say about the application itself, when you fill out the application will ask you asset information. And I think that can be a little bit confusing for consumers if they're told that it's only based on your income. The reason that the application asks for that additional information is because they're screening you for higher levels of assistance, like Extra Help, which does look at assets. So that's just an FYI on the application itself. So each Medicare Part D plan and the Medicare Advantage Part D plans maintain a drug formulary, so a list of the medications. It lists the prescription drugs that each plan covers, and the drugs are identified based on tier levels, and the prescription drugs at each tier will likely have different copays. If you need prescription drugs that are not on your plan's formulary or are assigned a high copay due to a higher tier, you may want to consider switching plans. So these are just some FYIs about the medications on the Medicare Part D plans, as well as the Medicare Advantage plans. Next slide. The question of, can I use the pharmacy I want? So with regards to the Part D plan that you choose, or the Medicare Advantage plan that you choose, or if you switch when you're enrolled in this program, you get an opportunity to switch as well. A lot of people want to consider the pharmacy that they want to go to. So this is just something for you to consider with the Medicare Advantage and the Part Ds. Not every Medicare Part D and Medicare Advantage plan participates with every pharmacy. So it's something to check. If you want to stay with a specific pharmacy, you can contact your pharmacy to find out which plans they participate in. And pay close attention to the participating pharmacy list. And then always remember that many of these plans, or most of these plans, offer prescription drugs through the mail. Next slide. So back to the ESPIDAP application, the application itself. The link is here. These slides are going to be available on our website. You can also, if you want them a little bit quicker, I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and you can grab that email address and say, hey, send me the ESPIDAP presentation, and I'll send you that so you get those links a little bit quicker. So there's where you can find the application. You can, if a paper copy is your thing, and that is perfectly fine, you can contact them by calling the hotline, 1-800-551-5995. Again, if you prefer to do things in paper form, then don't hesitate to call and ask for a snail mailed copy of it. An authorized representative form is available if you are acting as a representative for somebody, for another applicant or a member. So ask for that authorization form. And for step-by-step help filling out the application, you can call your local state health insurance assistance program, SHIP. So if you're struggling, if you want help filling out this application, if you have questions about the application, do not hesitate to contact your local SHIP. Like, for example, if you're in Baltimore County, it's Baltimore County SHIP. All the counties in Maryland have a SHIP, as well as Baltimore City. And the list of those phone numbers is going to be this bottom link here. All right, so more on the application, because I do think it's important. The first 4 pages of the application list the instructions, although I promise they're not that overwhelming. It lists the hotline number and the complete list of the Part Ds and the Medicare Advantage plans that are participating. And like I said, you are more likely than not to find that your plan is participating. You do need to sign that application. That is important. If you're married and you live with your spouse, both of you must sign the application. You need to return the application via fax or snail mail to the address that's listed on the application, and expect 60 to 90 days for this to be processed. So a final note, you can switch your Medicare Part D or your Medicare Advantage plan 1 time per year if you are accepted into this program, in addition to the annual open enrollment period. And so I think that's a pretty big benefit too. So you get that additional time to switch plans once during the year. The hotline number, again, it's 1-800-551-5995. I do recommend calling if you have questions. There's also the Medicare website plan finder link here, and that's important if you are choosing a plan. So if you're choosing the Advantage plan or you're looking at Part D plans. And our contact information as well, the Maryland Insurance Administration. There's the link to our website, our Facebook, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if social media is your thing. We do post a lot. And then my email address is at the bottom here too. And I had one comment that the staff at ESPIDAP are very helpful. So that's good. That's good to know. And I found that out myself, because when I put this presentation together, I had to call them a couple times too. So that's the information that I had for you on the Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see if there's any questions in the chat, and we're going to open it up to like a Q&A session. So if
Patty,
Marie,
before you do that, let's give them the information about the Department of Health, since they weren't able to attend.
I got it. All right, so the Department of Health was not able to attend today, so we have a slide here, which is the contact information for the Maryland Medicaid Pharmacy Program. That information is, you're going to see that on your screen right now. They're at 201 West Preston Street. Their phone number is 1-800-492-5231, option 3. And they're available from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And sorry they couldn't be here today to talk about their pharmacy program. So going to the chat, I'm not sure we have any questions. Yes, the recording and copies of the slide will be available. You can go ahead, they'll be posted on our website, or you can shoot me an email and I can send them to you if you want to get them right away. Joyce, they'll probably be posted by tomorrow.
As soon as we have the recording, I'll give it to them. So yes, today, if not tomorrow, definitely Monday.
Okay, all right. I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna Paul, would you mind explaining tiers, or the specific question is, would you explain tier 3 again?
Yeah, and every insurer's formulary is going to be different, but basically there's a pharmacy and therapeutics committee for the insurer that helps set the formulary, and that distinction between tier 2 and tier 3 is really the most important for a consumer's purposes. So the committee looks at a number of different things. One of the things they look at is the effectiveness of the drugs. Another thing that they look at is the cost of the drugs when considered with their effectiveness, along with some other factors. And we do have laws, Maryland laws, that deal with the makeup of the pharmacy and therapeutic committee.
Thanks, Paul. Just FYI, if you want me to send you a copy of the presentation, please send me an email. I won't be able to grab your email address from the chat. Does anyone have any other questions for myself, Ville-Marie, or Paul? I'll give you a few minutes. But while I'm waiting to see if anyone else has any other questions, just a couple upcoming events. Our next event is Thursday, June 2nd, and that's going to be an Insurance 101 for seniors, where I'm going to be covering auto insurance, homeowners insurance, as well as insurance fraud. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be June 2nd, which is on a Thursday. And then we do have another event coming up Tuesday, June 14th. We're going to have the Maryland Department of Aging resource event. So many older adults and their loved ones want to know what resources are available to older adults in Maryland. The Maryland Department of Aging is a state agency with supportive services that offer the opportunity for older adults to live healthy and meaningful lives. So that's the Maryland Department of Aging. Bernice Hutchinson from the Maryland Department of Aging will be with us Tuesday, June 14th, and she's going to cover the Senior Call Check, which is a new program for seniors to have somebody call and check on them daily, as well as she's going to cover elder financial exploitation, elder abuse awareness, and then also the Community for Life program. So if any of that interests you, that event is advertised on our website. You can sign up on Eventbrite, and it's going to be June 14th. So with that, I don't think I see any other questions. I just want to say thanks to everyone for attending today, and thank you very much. Yes.
Patty, wait a sec. You forgot the survey at the end.
Oh, okay. Yes. Joyce is going to post a survey.
Question.
Yes, you can.
Medicare Part D program is unbelievably overwhelming. And I'm wondering if there are services that can help choose for my particular situation?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I mean, you mean choosing the plan itself is overwhelming?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so there's two things. CMS or Medicare, they try to make it as easy as possible for you by having that website where you can put in your medications and you can put in the dosages, et cetera. And so the idea is you put in your medications, you put in your dosages, you put in your zip code, because this is based on where you live. And then it's going to go ahead and it's going to order the plans for you that are available in your zip code from least expensive to most expensive. And so you can do that on Medicare.gov. However, not everyone's comfortable with that. Not everyone's comfortable using a computer. Not everyone's comfortable with putting that information in and even interpreting kind of what this algorithm is going to give you. And so in that case, we do recommend that you contact SHIP. So during my presentation, there was a slide that gave you a link to SHIP. Each one of the SHIPs, there's 25 SHIPs in Maryland. So it's each county and Baltimore City. You contact the one that makes sense to you. So based on where you are, and you can ask to set up an appointment and they don't all do in person, but some do in person. Sometimes it's over the phone. They're going to capture that information from you. They're going to get your dosages, your medications, et cetera. And then they're going to help you find that Part D plan that makes sense to you. During open enrollment, I do recommend getting an appointment as soon as possible because a lot of times they do fill up. So open enrollment for Medicare starts October 15th, and you might want to call your local SHIP maybe the first week of September and see if you can get an appointment because they operate largely on a volunteer basis. And so there is a limited number of appointments.
Thank you.
Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Great.
Yeah. And then I believe Joyce has just posted the survey. So presentation feedback is greatly appreciated. If you complete the survey, it's helpful to us so we can know if we answered your questions and what else you are looking for from us in the future. You're welcome, Emily. So with that, thanks if you're filling out the survey, and thank you for everyone for being here today. Thanks to the presenters. And if you have any questions, you can always email us or reach out to us at the Maryland Insurance Administration. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a great day.